Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Pulp Crazy. I'm Jason Aiken, and in this week's episode I will be discussing the graphic novel Batman, Detective Number 27, written by Michael Uslan and illustrated by Peter Snejbjerg. In this Elseworlds alternate universe story, originally published in 2003, Bruce Wayne does not become Batman. Instead, he joins the secret society of detectives and becomes known as Detective Number 27. This title is derived as a tribute to the Pulp Hero, Operator Number 5, written by Frederick Davis, as well as Batman making his first appearance in Detective Comics issue 27. This story is set largely in 1939 and could also be called What If Bruce Wayne Was a Pulp Hero? In Detective Number 27, Bruce's origin is still the same. He sees his parents killed in front of him after attending a showing of The Mark of Zorro in 1929. He then leaves the U.S. and travels abroad to begin his studies that will lead him to a career of crime fighting. He later returns to Gotham in 1939 to begin his quest. The driving force of the story is stopping a looming biological attack on Gotham City by the Knights of the Golden Circle. They are a secret society of Confederate extremists who wish to restore the Confederacy. The book flashes back and forth to different periods in history and reveals the Knights of the Golden Circle's machinations and how the secret society of detectives attempt to foil their plans. The Knights of the Golden Circle plot also ties into the murders of Thomas and Martha Wayne. One of the strong suits about this book is the historical references Uslan adds. We learn that Detective Number 1 and the founder of the Secret Society of Detectives is Alan Pinkerton, the legendary lawman and detective who founded the Secret Service. Other historical figures who appear in the book or are referenced include Abraham Lincoln, John Wilkes Booth, Charles Darwin, Gregor Mendel, Theodore Roosevelt, Babe Ruth, Sigmund Freud, and Franklin Delano Roosevelt. There is a nice index on the very last page of the book that footnotes these historical figures, as well as other historical references mentioned throughout the book. Other detectives from literature also appear in the story, but are not named. These include the Shadow, who Bruce recognizes as one of his teachers, Nick and Nora Charles, Sam Spade, Nero Wolfe, and Hercule Poirot. Mr. Hyde also makes an appearance, with Dr. Jekyll being referenced. Other alternate versions of DC Comics characters that make appearances include Alfred Pennyworth, Robin, Catwoman, Hugo Strange, the Scarecrow, the Crimson Avenger, and Superman. I thought this was a great book, and I have to thank Rick Croxton of the Book Cave podcast for bringing it to my attention in an episode a few weeks back. Michael Uslan is well known for being a huge Batman fan and also the producer of the Batman movies, but I had no idea he was such a good writer. The way he peppers this story with historical and fictional references is amazing. It doesn't detract from the actual storyline at all. It really enriches it. For those interested in this, he is also doing a similar type of story in Dynamite's Shadow Green Hornet Dark Knights miniseries. Peter Snejbjerg also did an amazing job on the artwork. He's a great storyteller and artist. The scenes flowed smoothly from panel to panel, and each character had their own distinctive look. I haven't read any other books drawn by him, but I plan to keep an eye out for his work in the future. I see he had a 30-issue run on James Robinson's Starman book, and that's been one of those comic series I just haven't got around to reading yet. So I'll have to check that out and pay a particular amount of attention to his issues when I start reading those. I can recommend this book to 3 different groups of people: Batman fans, pulp fans, and crossover fiction fans. I think all 3 will enjoy it, as it ties into all 3 areas and does a great job in doing so. It's a great-looking and well-written book that really makes use of the Elseworlds alternate universe umbrella. Well, that's it for this week's episode of Pulp Crazy. Pulp Crazy is located at pulpcrazy.com. I'm at Pulp Crazy on Twitter and facebook.com/pulpcrazy. You can also email me at pulpcrazy@gmail.com. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time.